Good evening, everybody. I hope you are all having a wonderful start to your week. Today is Monday, January 9th, 2023. We're going to be looking at the ES futures market. We're going to be breaking it down from the top down. We're going to be going from the monthly, the weekly, the daily, down to the 30-minute time frame where we'll look at our in-depth view of the market profile and what occurred today in the intraday. So, first and foremost, I want to get us started off and kicked off with the monthly balance, and then we'll break down the weekly, and then we'll break down our daily chart, and then break down our intraday, uh, 30-minute intraday time frame with market profile. And then I want to review a checklist with you guys that if you do not have, I do highly recommend having in your arsenal. Uh, if anybody's interested in this, I could leave a link down below or send it to you however you would like to receive it, or just copy it for your own sake down on paper. Uh, Checklist that I'll present here at the end will be pretty useful. Uh, Definitely helps on days like today in trying to determine which way you should be trading. Same thing for Friday when we had that triple distribution day up. To use the checklist to help you identify and feel more confident in which way you should be trying to trade. So let's break down the monthly. Monthly is still in this large channel, basically in balance. We're just bouncing back and forth in between the high 43.2750 and the low 35.02. Nothing's changed here. We're still in a balance. Market's waiting for more market generated information to see which way we come out of it, uh, either to the upside or to the downside. Let's go to our weekly. Now, our weekly has been trading inside that monthly balance, but we've had a weekly balance that we're just now coming out of. Like I believe on Friday, I was talking about, or Saturday, excuse me, when I made the video, I was talking about how I didn't want to call the weekly up yet or the daily up yet because I felt like we may have just stretched the balance high a little bit, but today we clearly took it out. So far, this is an ugly candle on the weekly, and you'll see it on the daily as well. Pretty ugly candle. But the weekly is firmly up now. We're breaking out of this 3 week balance high. 3 week balance, we're breaking out of this channel to the upside. So right now we're looking to see if we could hold above and find acceptance of higher price above this 3900 level. If we can hold above that, then you should continue the trend upward. However, if we cannot, do not be surprised to see this thing roll back into this balance zone and, you know, chop around a little bit more. Daily. Look at our daily time frame. Like I said, very ugly candle. Very ugly candle on the daily. So here's that 3 week balance high that we've been talking about, right? That was also our daily balance high, so I can bring that up. Boom. There's our daily balance high. Like I said, I felt like we just stretched it, but today we're going to firmly call the daily and the weekly one time framing up. We're going to say we're trending up. So far, we closed above the 20-day moving average 2 days in a row, but one day doesn't make a market, 2 days doesn't make a market. Let's see what happens with time. Same thing with the 50-day moving average. We've rejected higher price twice now above the 50-day moving average, but that's still not enough time to determine. Uh, we got near our gap and near our 200-day moving average up here at 39.8260, and then that gap starts at 39.8525. So gap starts there. 200-day moving average is slightly below it. We'll see if we test that, but today was a wild and wacky ride. I did well early on in the day, but for now, daily's breaking out of balance to the upside. We're attempting to try to go and find acceptance of higher price above the 50-day moving average. We may battle it for a few more days before we find acceptance and eventually get up to this gap. Or, like I said, potentially for the weekly and the daily, roll back in, chop around inside this balance zone again, and we'll see what happens, see what occurs. Now, let's move on to our 30-minute time frame and our market profile or my version of it anyway. It's not a true market profile. It's TPO on Thinkorswim app, but I use it as a market profile where I'll label each one of these time frames, such as they do on Windows Trader, where I'll label each time frame A, B, C through M. Um, so, real quick, let me bring up that checklist for you guys real quick. So if you can see right here, this is the checklist that we use in Camelback trading room, as well as I use it, for my own personal gain. Paul was kind enough to share this checklist with us, and every trader should have a checklist of how they would identify um, which way the market's going and how it, how to better trade it and feel more confident with the trades, whichever direction. So as you can see here, we have our bulls checklist. Zoom in here a little bit. Our bulls checklist and our bears checklist. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically how we're looking. Uh, so MGI is just market generated information. Gap is the gap, whether or not we have a gap for that day. So today we had a gap, but we closed out of it, so we would cross that off. Let me see if I can draw here for you guys. All right, so initially we had a gap. That's my check, or excuse me, erase that. Okay. So initially we had a gap. Value, that just is asking if value is higher or lower, and we can determine that through my, here I can try to make this a little bit more visible for you guys so you can understand what I mean by value. Uh, Value. That's how I have it. Let's try to highlight it. Let's see if this works. Nope, did not work. Okay. So, sorry, you're just gonna have to bear with me as I do this stuff relatively live. Uh, don't edit anything. I just kind of go flow. See what happens. All right. Globals. That's where it's at. Yep. Value area. Boom. We'll highlight our value area like that. Apply. Okay. So now you can see where value's at. So now you can see on my TPO, my profile here, where value's at. So it's just asking where value is at. So value from Friday was here, as you can see, it was in this large highlighted blue range, and then value moved higher. Value was up here. So that's what's asking of our profile. Is value higher? Value is higher, so we'll check that off. It's asking if we got the overnight high or the overnight low. We got the overnight high initially in A period, so that's that. Did we get did A hold the open? This is asking, did we stay above the open? So initially, yes, we did. Did we have a lowest accepted price? No, so we'll leave that blank. Um, we did not have a lowest accepted price. That's just asking after A period, when B period opens, did we push higher immediately and never look back, kind of like we had on Friday. We had a lowest accepted price here, B period, where A closed, B opens, and we pushed up. Then we ended up having two sets of single prints and a triple distribution day. That did not occur today, so we do not have a lowest accepted price. Did we get the initial balance high? Yes, so initial balance is the first two time frames of the day, 30-minute time frames, which would be A period and B period, the first 2 minute or two time frames, whether you take out the high and the low of those 30 minutes or the first hour candle, however you want to look at it. So C period opened up, took out B's high, so we did get the initial balance high. Did we begin one time framing up? That's just asking if we're taking out previous time frames highs. Yes. So all these things are in buyer's favors at the moment, right? So everything is in buyer's favors. We're looking to be a buyer on pullbacks. This is what this checklist is telling us. On pullbacks, buy the dip. You're going to make money. Single prints, SP, single prints. Do we have single prints? So early on in the day, we did have single prints. We did. We had single prints here in C period. So initially we had single prints that you could have bought against. And single prints is just an intraday gap Intraday gap is all that it is. You can see if you're just focusing here in B, C, and D period. Once C pushed up, D opened, we never came back through that area. So this whole range right here, there's poor structure or light volume in that area as price just drove straight higher. So did we have single prints? Initially in the day, yes, we had single prints. Outside day up, that's not applicable, and as POC, point of control, that's just asking about this yellow line here. Where's point of control? Did it move up? So point of control consistently moving up, yes. We can say point of control moved up, POC. So all those things were in buyer's favors. However, so on pullbacks, you could look to be buying. So in A period or A period, you could have been buying because we had higher value. We had a gap initially. Gap got filled later on. Could have bought in B period on the pullback because we had higher value. We were one time framing up. Took out A's high, value higher, one time framing up, things of that nature. So could have bought there in B period. Could have bought in C period on the pullback. As you can see, C opened up and pushed up directly, creating a set of single prints. Heck, you could have been waiting until D period when you had more confirmation, more things in the checklist, such as single prints, one time frame and up, higher value, initial balance high, things of those nature. Even in this pullback in D period, you could have taken a long and made good money. Now later in the day, things begin to change, right? E period, we didn't get much extension. F period, we pulled back into a set of single prints initially, but we never filled them. So they went from D's low to now F's low. So single prints are starting to get take back. Basically, you should be finding bids in this area and you could take responsive longs if there isn't a whole lot of supply. So as we pulled back into that single print, you see where F closed from where its low was. Pretty decent range, about a 5 point range from the low at 60, and then where it closed at 65. You could have bought here against the single prints, and boom, you're out. Now things begin to change because we're not one time framing up anymore. In G period, it takes out F's low. So what happens on the checklist? Well, we're not one time framing up anymore. Let me change this real quick so you guys can see it. So we're not one time framing up anymore. So that goes away. Change this to red. So one time framing up is no longer there. All right, we're no longer one time framing up as G took out F's low. So we're not taking out highs anymore, we're taking out lows. G fills the set of single prints. So now that set of single prints is gone. So this is how you can confirm whether or not you should be buying or selling. So things are being taken away from the buyers now. Could you take longs? Yes. Could you have made money? Yes, but things are changing, right? We filled the set of single prints showing that there's supply. We took out a previous time frame's low, not only once, but now twice. So, and we filled set of single prints. So set of single prints no longer there. Things are starting to be checked off in the bears category now. So we're one time framing down now, right? One time framing down. We'll check that off for the bears. So now you can start to kind of see, all right, maybe we sell on pushes up. Instead of buying the dip, we can sell on pushes up. So we start to continue, and then all we do all day long after filling that set of single prints is we one time frame down all day long. One time frame down, one time frame down, big liquidation break in I period. What happens? We take away the opening, so nobody has the opening now. Guess what? That's another thing we're going to take away from the buyers right here. We're going to take that away. Nothing there anymore. So you can see the lead starting to get taken away. Also, the gap got taken away earlier on in the day. Value is still higher. They still took out the overnight high. They still took out the IB high, but we lost single prints. We lost one time framing up. We lost the gap early on in the day. POC got lowered, so POC is no longer the same anymore. We're one time framing down. We're one time frame down in K. K creates a small set of single prints. Very small, but it's there. I'll highlight it here. very small, right there in K period. So now we have set of single prints for the sellers. This is how we go through the day whenever you're looking to intraday trade. This checklist helps you. So you know after you have single prints here and you broke also the initial balance low. So now sellers have taken out the initial balance low. They've taken out uh, the single prints and they've created a set of single prints to the downside here in K period, right? We create another set in L. So now we have two sets of single prints to the downside right there. Get rid of some of these other lines so you guys can. Okay. So we created another set of single prints. So when M pushed up, you could have sold against that set of single prints. And guess what? We're still one time framing down. And then we have what is known as a price probe here in M period. So that's when we take out uh, L periods low or high and probe with pretty good good price movement. So price probe, not something that's on the checklist, but you can look for it. Did POC get lowered? Yes. Okay. Did we have a highest accepted price? No. Do they have the opening? Yes, now they have the opening. And they got the overnight low. So you can see as the day went on, trace everything that the buyers had, and we can look at the checklist and how it changed. Trace everything that the buyers had early on in the day, and you can see how things changed to the seller side late in the day. So buyers had a lot early on in the day, A through E period. And then once F opened up, things started to change for the sellers. And then you can see selling was the thing to do as we started to pull back late in the day. What started it was that big liquidation break here in I period. So a lot of buyers that weren't getting paid up here said, all right, let's get out of the position. Sellers piled in and we liquidated to the lows, took out the low day, created a new low on the day. We even got into the set of single prints from Friday. So I know that's a little bit of a long and long-winded explanation, but I hope that helps anybody that is a day trader understand how helpful a checklist like this can help them in their trading. I used it to make pretty good profits early on in the day as I was long in B period. I was long in A period when we filled the gap against the low day. I actually bought the low day. I bought 39.28.75. The low was 38.28.50. So I bought against that, and I would have gotten out had we gotten the overnight low. But we didn't. We pushed up, and I sold for a really good profit around 35 and 36. Pullbacks in B period I bought, pullbacks in C period I bought, had a beautiful long in D period, and then I decided to get out of the market because I'd made pretty good money in the day, 13 trades. Overall was a really solid day. I can pull up my P&L for you guys real quick. So, uh, see if I can find it real. So I have it screenshotted, and so right there, you can kind of see where my P&L was. I took 13 trades. 12 of them being winners, one of them being losers, 80, 100, and 100. Really good trading day for me. And that was mostly early on the day. After that, I decided to go to the gym, and thankfully I did. I could have made money on pullbacks, but probably would have gotten hurt along with the rest of the buyers that were up here. So that being said, let's go ahead and put in our destinations and wrap up this video and give you guys some if-then statements for the next trading day. I'm actually going to leave all these little lines here. All right, so we have, and I'm going to unhighlight this because I do not enjoy having the. All right, boom, perfect. Okay, so let's go over destinations for the day. We have our high day up here at 39.73, so let's go ahead and mark that. 39.73.25. Let's go type. Okay, there's our high a day. Then uh we have our first set of single prints here that start at the day's low, 38 or 28.50. Where the first low of day was actually at 30, actually 28.50, excuse me, 38. Single prints fill here. And then they start at L's high, which is 27.75. 27.75. And this is how we chart so we know where these destinations are, because algorithms and traders like myself like to look at it for destinations to get to and to take responsive trades off of them. So it is very beneficial to have these labeled and marked on your chart. 3, a single print start, they fill. Have our next set that start here at 23. K periods low. So we go out with a double distribution to the downside, which is kind of crazy because we opened with a gap and then came into the previous day's range. Absolutely nutty. If this stuff continues for the year, we should have a really good year as far as trading ranges and opportunities go. Single prints fill there, and then they start here at M's high would be 2075. Single print start. And then we have our price probe here at 1725 price probe. So this will be an area you look. So with price probes, you want to see price move lower starting the next day. You don't want to revisit this price probe. So that means basically you should see price move lower into the set of single prints coming into the next day. As a seller, that's what you want to see is price move lower. Now, if you don't, then you can expect to find us rotate back up and potentially backfill where these single prints are. And mark that, boom, price probe. Then we have our low day where the single prints start from the 6th. No, this can be right here at 1175, and we'll mark that solid 75. So it is also a single prints and is also where our low day starts. 09. So I'm gonna label it like that. So tomorrow, so we have a double distribution day. Basically, all this up here is one distribution. D's high, or yeah, the day's high to A's low is one distribution. It's all one distribution. We have L's high to K's low is another distribution. And then this is a triple distribution. M's high to L's low. And then all of M's range. L's low to the day's low. So what you want to see is tomorrow, if we open up below this price probe, then you should see us take out today's low day. You should see this set of single prints fill, and then you should go and back test potentially 38.85.50. If we don't, and if we open up above this price probe and above this set of single prints, then you should see us rotate back up and maybe back test at 50 and get up to 39.73.25 and potentially into that gap. However, there's some things coming out this week, such as Powell speaking and things of that nature. This day is a wacky day. Very strange day. Gonna look strange on the daily. Very ugly candle. Not how you want to finish if you are a buyer. So with that being said, I know this video was a little bit longer. I do appreciate it if you guys stuck it all the way out to the end. I think there's some very valuable and good information, such as this checklist. If you would like it, please leave a comment in below. I can send it to you. If not, then here it is. Take a screenshot, um, copy it down. That way you guys have it on your end. Hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.